Hello, hello, que paso? My name is Lucis, and when the chips were down, I was not able to save my mother's life. While I was out on one of my walks earlier, I put on a video where a young man that's only 18 years old was talking about the many years of difficulties that he's had because he had it fixed, but he had a very severe hiatal hernia. And that got me thinking about my own experiences with that particular health condition. If you don't know what it is, it's basically like a really bad strain of muscles around your diaphragm. So if you have one, it causes anything from heartburn to regurgitation of food and or liquids and a couple other issues. It can be a real problem. A lot of people have mild hiatal hernias and they can do fine, but when it gets really bad, it gets very out of control. As far as I'm aware, I don't have one, but my mom had one, and she almost died right in front of me because of it. So I was 15. We had just moved into a new house. I was just wrapping up my freshman year of high school, and we were all just kind of wrung out. My mom had been diagnosed with emphysema about 9 months earlier, if that. And chronic coughing can cause hiatal hernias. Now, she had been aware of the fact that she had a hiatal hernia long before she was diagnosed with the emphysema. By the time she was diagnosed with the emphysema, she was already in, like, the moderate severe range, you know. It's not like they caught it early. She only had about 8 years left, so. Anyway, the point is, she knew what a hiatal hernia was. She was fully aware of what was happening to her body in that situation. And for the most part, it didn't really cause any issues aside from, the heartburn, and especially the big thing is you can't lay down right away after eating, which honestly isn't all that bad, at least in her case. I mean, for her, it was just take Zantac and be mindful of when you eat. Make sure you don't eat right before bedtime. So, one day, we were all kind of wrung out, and my stepdad decided to make a cheap frozen pizza, pepperoni, for dinner, and we were all fine with that. So my mom was eating it, everything was fine, and she had just... So, I mean, everything seemed fine, She had just finished eating, and as per usual, she regurgitated a little bit of the pizza that she had just eaten. I mean, that was a daily thing for her, so that was no big deal. She was kind of expecting it. But there were two key issues this time that made it different. One, she hadn't really chewed her food as well as she could have. And two, she happened to be drawing a breath during a coughing fit right when the regurgitation happened. So what happened was a relatively large piece of pepperoni came back up right as she was pulling in a very deep breath. And it just got sucked straight into her windpipe. And it was like... well, have you ever heard about how people usually die because of diphtheria, where, like, I think it was diphtheria, where it causes this membrane to grow over your larynx, and then you suffocate to death because of that? Well, it was kind of like that. That big piece of pepperoni just slammed right on top of her windpipe, and it lodged in there. Because of the situation that she was in when it happened to come up, it was really in there. So she immediately knew she was in trouble, and obviously she asked for help, and I was there with her. My stepdad, I think, was doing dishes or something, I don't know. And I start smacking her on the back, because, I mean, even though I was only 15, I did know more than usual about basic first aid. So I start trying to help her get it out, and it's not working. Like, the stuff that usually works right away when it's a minor choking incident just doesn't work. It gets to the point where she gets up out of bed, and that's kind of a big deal for her. She only gets up when she needs to. At that point, my mom had accepted that she was coming to the end of her life, and she was just coasting, basically. So she got up and went to the bathroom, and she was doing that thing. If you've ever seen anybody go through something like this, or you've gone through it yourself, you know what I'm talking about. There's a panic that is like no other that happens when you're in a situation like that, and it hit her. So when you're in that state of mind, you will start kind of flailing around, jumping around, reaching for random objects. You don't know what you're trying to find. All you know is you need to try and find a solution. I mean, you can't even really think straight anyway, you know. But that's what she was doing. So she went to the bathroom, and it wasn't getting any better. And I yelled for my stepdad to help. He grabbed the phone to start calling 911. But, you know, we kind of lived far out of town. Not too far, but far enough that if it came to that, there was no way they were going to get there in time. So since she was standing and in the bathroom, I started trying to Heimlich her. And the first attempt, nothing. Second attempt, nothing. Third attempt, nothing. I lost count, but I must have tried it at least 10 or 12 times, and not one of them worked. I think it's just because I'm about 2 inches shorter than she was. So I just couldn't get the right leverage. I mean, I was pulling it so hard, I was practically throwing her over my head, and it just wasn't enough. So my stepdad happened to be just tall enough to actually be able to get the right kind of leverage. So he passed the phone to me, and he started working on her. And so one attempt, nothing. Second attempt, nothing. It's just, nothing's working. And it was right when she was on the verge of passing out, he finally gave it one more shot, and it came up. So thankfully she was shaken, but okay. And from then on, she never ate pepperoni pizza ever again. But the thing that really rattled me, I mean, aside from the fact that I almost watched my mother die right in front of me, which that'll mess with anybody, is the fact that this happened on the 1-year anniversary of the death of my stepdad. Obviously, I don't mean the same stepdad that saved her. And yeah, you heard that right. 1-year anniversary. She really did remarry that quickly. That's a story I'll have to tell some other day, but yeah, exactly 1 year earlier, my previous stepdad died in his sleep, and I was the one that had to deal with it, because my mom lost her mind. So, you know, sometimes, like, you'll come up on the anniversary of something bad, or just for whatever reason you get a feeling like something really bad's going to happen that day, and I had that feeling all day, and we were so close to clearing the day without anything bad happening, and then that happened. And I fucking hate self-fulfilling prophecies because of that. So anyway, the point here is, hiatal hernias are no joke. Even if technically it's only a mild case of it, you never know You never know when the odds could lean in the wrong direction. I mean, her hernia wasn't even that bad, but it almost killed her. Just because things happen to line up just in the wrong way. She got lucky that day. We all got lucky that day. It was really starting to look like she wasn't going to pull through it. And another thing, if you're short, like I am, I strongly advise you to research alternate methods for dealing with somebody that's choking. Because I'm telling you, Heimlich doesn't work when you're shorter than the chokee. Or maybe it will, but you'll have to get lucky. There are other ways to do it, and I wish I had known about that. But again, I was 15 years old. I barely even knew what the Heimlich maneuver was to begin with. The only reason I knew that was because I was a medical science nerd. So, there are alternatives. And personally, I'm looking into buying one of those life vac things. But anyway, just some things to consider. Oh, and I'm going to put a link to that video that made me remember all this in the description, in case you're curious. Because his hiatal hernia was significantly worse than my mother's. Yeah. It's pretty wild. And, I mean, he was only 14, 15 years old when it started. That is exceptionally young for something like that to happen, so it's an interesting story. I mean, he had to actually have a surgery to repair it. It was that bad, so. Alright, well, have a good night.